Hey YouTube, this is PrimetimePokemon. In this video, I'll be reviewing and giving away the Frost Ray Plasma Freeze theme deck. This is a theme deck. It is a water and lightning type theme deck. The main Pokemon in this deck is Glaceon, and you can tell that by looking at the artwork on the deck box, as well as the holographic Pokemon card in this deck is Glaceon. So I can show you a quick view of the artwork on this box. And then on the back, you'll find everything that is in the box. The 60 count deck, the coin, checklist, damage counters, deck box, playmat, and then one code card. And then on the right over here, you'll find the entire deck list. What I always suggest doing when looking at theme decks to purchase is to read this paragraph here on the back of the theme deck. It will say the strategy around this deck. So I'll read that for you. It says, Frost Ray theme deck. Freeze your foes with fear when you play the Frost Ray theme deck. Use Glaceon's Icy Wind attack to send opposing Pokemon into a cold, deep sleep, and Vanilluxe's powerful Chill Max attack to let them know they're in for a rude awakening. You'll command the battlefield with superior speed using Glaceon's Freeze Zone ability and help keep the energy flowing with Electrode's Magnetic Draw. Then, as you call Team Plasma Pokemon and Trainer cards from the discard pile with Ratata's Transfer Junk attack, your opponents will know anyone unwary enough to challenge you will be put on ice. So that's a little summary of the Frost Ray theme deck. And like I mentioned, I'll be reviewing this theme deck in the video. And then at the end, I'll be giving away the theme deck. And in the video description below, I'll also state the rules for the giveaway. But then you can just watch this video and at the end, listen for the rules. So what I'm going to do now is I'll open the deck, I'll show you everything inside of the deck, and then go through all the cards, and then review basically each card. So inside of here, you get everything that I mentioned earlier, the play mat, the damage counters, checklist. You get a pretty cool looking coin, very cool looking Deoxys coin. And then you'll get an online TCG code card. And I can just show it like so. And then it unlocks and then a 160 count deck. And then here's the Glaceon holographic card. And this is a rare card. Normally it's not holographic, but it is a special or the featured card in this theme deck. So that's why it's in a holographic version in this video, or in this deck. So now I'll go to the actual cards in the deck. So the cards come in this deck box, 60 cards in a deck. And I've already sorted all the cards in this deck so that they're in order. Okay, so the first card in this deck would make sense to be Eevee. There are actually 4 Eevee cards in this deck. 60 HP for Eevee, colorless type, has 2 moves, Growl and Quick Attack. Growl just reduces your opponent's attacks by 20 after you use Growl, and then Quick Attack does 10 damage plus 10 more damage if you get a heads when you flip a coin. So Eevee, not really a very good basic Pokemon card, but there's Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Glaceon in this deck, so you're going to have to use Eevee if you want to be successful using this deck. But I would recommend putting Eevee on the bench if possible. Leave it on the bench until you can evolve it into one of its evolutions. So there are 2 each of Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Glaceon. So Jolteon, lightning type Pokemon, 90 HP, 2 moves. There's Pin Missile, which requires a colorless energy card and does 20 damage times the number of heads you get when you flip 4 coins. So it's a maximum amount of 80 with this move. And then Electric Diffuse is Jolteon's second move, it does 40 damage for 2 energy cards, and if the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, that Pokemon actually can't attack during Jolteon's next turn. So Jolteon's a pretty speedy Pokemon, so if you do have to put Eevee into the active Pokemon spot right away, Jolteon would be very helpful to draw. You could put it out there and do possibly 80 damage for only 1 energy card. So very good Eevee evolution there. So 2 Jolteons. And then there are 2 Vaporeons like I mentioned. 110 HP, so a little higher HP on Vaporeon. 2 moves on this one as well. There's Refreshing Rain. It says heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. A very good move there. And then Gold Breaker requires 2 energy cards and does 30 damage plus 50 more damage if you're attacking an EX Pokemon. So both Jolteon and Vaporeon are both extra powerful against EX Pokemon. And Vaporeon would be an Eevee evolution to play a little later in the game after you've retreated several of your Pokemon after they have damage on them. You'd be able to heal 30 damage from each of those Pokemon when using Refreshing Rain. And then the featured Pokemon in this deck is Glaceon. And on the back of the box, it talked about Glaceon's, actually both of its moves, its ability, plus its only move called Icy Wind. So Glaceon, Stage 1 Water type, 90 HP. So solid HP, very average. And then its ability is called Freeze Zone. It says the retreat cost of each of your Team Plasma Pokemon in play is 2 colorless energy cards less. So that is an extremely good ability. You're actually going to want to have a Glaceon in play at all times so you can always take advantage of that ability, especially if your deck has a lot of Team Plasma cards like this one does. It makes it a lot easier for sometimes slower or higher attacking Pokemon to retreat either for 1 energy card or free. So you definitely want to keep 1 Glaceon on your bench, and then you could always move 1 to the active Pokemon spot. If that gets knocked out, it wouldn't be as big a deal because you have another one on the bench. But when it is in the active Pokemon spot, you will want to use Icy Wind every turn and put the defending Pokemon to sleep. So a good strategy would be to start the game with Eevee if you have to. If that's the case, you'd then put Jolteon in the active Pokemon spot and use Pin Missile, possibly do 80 damage. If you can get another basic Pokemon from this deck into the active Pokemon spot, I would suggest putting Eevee on the bench, evolving into Glaceon, getting 3 energy cards on this Pokemon as fast as possible, then moving Glaceon into the active Pokemon spot, using Icy Wind every turn, and then putting the defending Pokemon to sleep. That way you can set up the rest of your bench while the defending Pokemon is asleep and unable to attack. So like I said, 2 Glaceons, one's the holographic version, and then there's that regular non-holo rare. Next up is my favorite Pokemon line in black and white. Not really, but it's in every set. There's Vanillite, Vanilluxe, and Vanilluxe, a 3-2-1 line. Vanillite is a water type Pokemon, basic, 60 HP. Only 1 move, called Jump On. Requires colorless energy cards, so it works well in a dual type deck like this. Does 20 damage plus 10 more damage if you get a heads when you flip a coin. So both Eevee and Vanillite, basic Pokemon, but a little slower. They don't attack for 1 energy card. This Vanillite's definitely better than Eevee, though. It has a possibility of doing more damage. And then there are 2 Vanillite in this, or Vanillish in this deck. Below average HP, however, only 80. Most stage 1 Pokemon have 90 HP. And then there are 2 moves on this, 1 move on this card. It requires 2 colorless energy cards. So both Vanillite and Vanillish require only colorless energy. And Vaporeon from earlier and Glaceon required mostly colorless energy. So all of those water type Pokemon work well in a dual type deck. But Vanillish just has the 1 move called Surefire Spin. It does 20 damage plus 40 more damage if you get 2 heads when you flip 2 coins. So even if you do get 2 heads, it only does 60 damage for 2 energy cards. Not the greatest of Stage 1 Pokemon out there. But we'll have to take a look at Vanilluxe. There's only one of those, but the back of the box mentions Chill Max, that attack. So you can take a look at Vanilluxe. It's a Team Plasma card, so Glaceon's ability, called Freeze Zone, will definitely help this one out. It'll actually give it a free retreat cost. So Vanilluxe, there's only one Vanilluxe in this deck, 130 HP, so pretty good HP for a Stage 2, considering it's Stage 1 evolution only at 80. Chill Max is the first move, and it requires a colorless energy card, and it does 60 damage times the number of times you get a head when you flip a coin for each energy card attached to Vanilluxe. So if you have 3 energy cards attached to Vanilluxe, you get to flip 3 coins. For each heads you get, it does 60 damage. And then Vanilluxe's second move is called Cold Breath, and it puts the defending Pokemon to sleep, plus does 40 damage. So if you decide to use Vanilluxe, I would definitely set up this whole entire line on the bench and make sure to have at least 3 energy cards on Vanilluxe before it's in the active Pokemon spot, because you want to for sure be able to do 60 damage in one turn. So next up is a lightning type line of Pokemon. There's a 2-1 line of Voltorb and Electrode. Voltorb, 60 HP, another basic Pokemon card that requires 2 energy cards to attack, which is very disappointing. I haven't had a basic Pokemon card in this deck be able to actually do an attack that does damage for 1 energy card. So 2 Voltorb, and then Electrode, and the back of the box mentioned Electrode's magnetic draw. First off, I'd just like to say that card looks pretty cool. But Electrode, average Stage 1, has an ability and a move. Pretty average move there, standard, 3 energy cards, 60 damage. But magnetic draw says you may draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. So if you're busy using trainer cards, or you have a lot of basic Pokemon that you can put down onto your bench, or you can attach possibly more than 1 energy card in a turn, you may be able to use magnetic draw quite often and be able to draw more than 1 card per turn. So a good way to keep more energy cards coming. And then Electro Ball, like I said, is just a standard move. So I'm not in love with Electrode that much. Magnetic draw is okay. You can use trainers and supporters to draw cards from your deck as well. So next up is a 2-1 line of Ratatat and Raticate. Ratatat, extremely low HP, and another move that requires 2 energy cards. Just colorless though. However, it can do 30 damage, but if you get a Tails, the move does nothing. I really don't like those basic Pokemon, or any moves in general that are an all or nothing type of move. And then Raticate, another Team Plasma card, colorless type. And the back of the box talked about Raticate's transfer junk move. It says to put a Team Plasma Pokemon, a Team Plasma trainer card, and a Team Plasma energy card from your discard pile into your hand. So this card would be played later on after you've discarded the necessary cards and want to get them back into your hand. You could put Raticate into the active Pokemon spot, use transfer junk a turn or two, and then get those Pokemon that you want back into your hand, Pokemon or trainer cards. And with the free retreat cost, you won't even have to have Glaceon into play at all to use its ability. And with Bite, it does 30 damage for 2 energy cards, so not bad overall. Just wish Raticate's HP would be a little higher. Both Ratatat and Raticate's HPs are extremely low. Another colorless type Pokemon here. There's a 2-2 line of Hoot Hoot and Noctowl. Hoot Hoot, it does have 1 move, but it actually doesn't do any damage. Each player draws 2 cards, so it's sort of it's not really an advantageous move for you if the defending player gets to do the same thing. So I don't really know why this card was included in the deck. See if Noctowl makes up for it. 90 HP, so standard HP on a stage 1. 2 moves, Powerful Vision, requires 2 colorless energy cards, does 10 damage times the number of cards in your opponent's hand. And then Fly requires 3 energy cards and does 50 damage. However, if you flip a coin and if you get a tails, the attack does nothing. But if you get a heads, all effects of an attack from your opponent during your opponent's next turn is prevented. I'd probably stay away from that entire line. I don't really like Hoot Hoot or Noctowl in this deck. Okay, next is a basic Pokemon, Pachirisu. It actually doesn't have any evolutions. It's a lightning type, 70 HP, 2 moves that both require 1 energy card. Minor Errand Running allows you to search your deck for 2 energy cards and then put them into your hand. An Electric Tail does 10 damage and paralyzes the defending Pokemon. So it's a very good starter type Pokemon. Definitely happy there's 2 of those in this deck. This would be the Pokemon that I'd want to start the game with because it has 2 moves that require only 1 energy card, and it also gets energy cards back into your hand quickly, and that way you can set up your bench Pokemon faster. If you have more energy cards, you can attach at least 1 energy card per turn. The other basic Pokemon in this deck, the last one actually, is Cryogonal. There's 2 of those in this deck. Another Team Plasma card, 80 HP, 2 moves, both require 1 energy card. Call Sign says to search your deck for a water Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. And then Cryo Freeze does 10 damage. However, you're supposed to discard an energy card attached to this Pokemon, but the defending Pokemon can't attack. So Cryogonal would be another decent starter Pokemon for this deck. I would recommend starting off with Pachirisu if you could. And like I'd mentioned, you could remove Raticate or Ratatat out as well and put a couple more Pachirisu in. Might make this deck a little better. So that's it for all the Pokemon. On to the trainers. There's 2 Team Plasma Balls. It says to search your deck for a Team Plasma Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. There's a Team Plasma Grunt. It says to discard a Team Plasma card from your hand and then draw 4 cards. There's a Shadow Triad. It allows you to put a Team Plasma card from your discard pile into your hand. So it's real similar to Transfer Junk. That's it for the Team Plasma trainers. Now we're on to regular trainer cards. There's an Energy Search. There's 2 of those. It just allows you to search your deck for an energy card, put it into your hand. Then there's an Energy Retrieval. Is moving 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So plenty of cards in this deck that move items from your discard pile to your hand. Pokemon Communication. It allows you basically to switch a Pokemon from your hand, put it into your deck, and then move a Pokemon from your deck into your hand. Potion. Real standard. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. And then Superior Energy Retrieval. It says to discard 2 cards from your hand and then put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So you could discard 2 basic Pokemon or 2 stage 2 that you're not going to get to, that type of thing. Of course, there aren't 2 stage 2, but you get my drift there. That's it for the trainer cards. And then there are 9 water energy cards in this deck and 9 lightning energy cards. So that is it. Going through all the cards. This deck is okay, I would say. Glaceon is definitely a very good card. I'm happy that is in this deck. I really like its ability, and it's good to pair up with Team Plasma cards. Icy Wind is a good move. Jolteon is pretty decent for a Stage 1 card. Those two cards would be my favorite. Other than that, I definitely make some substitutions into this deck. Probably include even more Team Plasma cards if possible. I would take out that Hoot Hoot and Noctowl line, possibly Ratatat and Raticate, and then just little by little change the deck. My strategy to beginners looking to play the TCG is always play with a theme deck that you bought for a little while. If you get another lightning type card that you think would work better in the deck, put that card in the deck, see how it works out. Just little by little improve the deck. But overall, I think this is an average theme deck. I'm not extremely impressed by it, but it definitely has some potential. So that basically ends this review, and then I'll lay out the rules for my giveaway. Basically, to win this theme deck, you have to do the following things. You have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and then follow me on my blog. Once you've done those 3 things, just comment on this video with your follower name from my blog and saying something like you'd like to enter or enter me, that type of thing. You only can enter once, and in a few weeks I'll upload another video to YouTube announcing the winner. So thanks everyone for watching. Good luck to everyone who enters. I will be reviewing and giving away the Psycrusher Plasma Freeze theme deck in the next month or so, so definitely watch for that video. I hope you're enjoying all of the booster boxes that I'll be opening, or have been and will be opening all summer long. And if you have questions about any specific card, you can always send me a message asking me about it. And also check out my blog. I've reviewed every single Plasma Storm Pokemon card on there, and I'm just about to get 2 Plasma Freeze cards in the next week or 2. I also give away the code cards on my blog every day as well, so if you're looking to play the online TCG, definitely check out my blog for those TCG online code card giveaways as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Check out all the links in the video description below, my blog, Facebook, Twitter links, as well as a detailed description on the rules to entry. So thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.